Well, ladies and gentlemen, this was the last thing I expected to talk about, but it's funny on how things turn out. Halo Infinite sequel, aka Halo 7. From leaks to other statements to even you guys asking me what does the next mainline Halo game need to have. Today, I'm going to cover it all. If there is a video topic you want me to talk about, by the way, leave me a comment about it. Always happy to take suggestions. Just a month ago, we spoke about Halo Infinite's 10-year plan. We also spoke about the future of the Halo franchise, and in that video, we stated that yes, there is multiple Halo projects in the works, and yes, they are being worked on simultaneously. This is evident by multiple lead developers on different projects, as well as the amount of hirings that have taken place in the last 6 to 12 months. There's been a lot. They also said themselves in a blog post that they're working on multiple Halo games, as people like myself and you guys in the community have always said we want more Halo. Why is there 5 years in between Halo games? That is far too long. We want more Halo. And so, that's when they decided to do multiple games. In saying that, it's safe to say Halo Studios, 343 Industries, whatever you want to call them, doesn't have a great track record of sticking to a story narrative. You look at every Halo campaign that is released after Halo Reach, there is barely a cohesive story there. Halo 4 introduced the Prometheans, the Didact, and then the Didact gets killed off in a comic book. Then the Didact pulls a Palpatine and then he's back from the dead. There's even 343 Guilty Spark who died at the end of Halo 3. He pulls another Palpatine and he's back from the dead. Then you have Halo 5 and Cortana sacrifices Ruin as now she's the big bad guy. Bad girl, bad guy, villain of the story. She builds up her own faction, the Created, and that's leading into Halo Infinite, and then Halo Infinite rolls around. It's a soft reboot for the series, and nothing of Halo 5 is really touched on. The closest you get to Halo 5's Guardians is there's a Guardian in the wreckage on Zeta Halo. There was concept art done for Agent Locke in Halo Infinite, but even outside of the audio logs, you don't even know what happened to Lasky. There are so many question marks attached to Halo Infinite's campaign. It is ridiculous. Don't get me wrong, from a gameplay standpoint, it's a masterpiece and I absolutely love it. Feels like Halo Infinite's campaign was designed for me, especially with the stuff I can do in it. But from a narrative standpoint, from a lore standpoint, it seems to be a growing trend where the books are relied upon to fill in all of the gaps, all of the loopholes. And I know many Halo fans who just play the video games, they don't read all of the books. I'd say maybe 10 to 15% of the people who play the video games read all the books. That means from a narrative standpoint, you have a lot of people playing the games and there's things they're not going to understand. I don't think people should have to read the books to understand what's happening in the video games. I think the books are great media, but they should be supplementary in that there's little nods to the books within the video games, but they definitely shouldn't be required reading. My point of that is almost every single campaign that has come out after Halo Reach hasn't been a cohesive story. So people were concerned that Halo Infinite's sequel, the next campaign, is just going to be something different, and more than that, maybe skipped over completely. People were scared we're not even going to get a continuation of Halo Infinite and Master Chief's story, and that brings us to today. It's why I said it's funny how things work out, as Mr. Rebs this week posted the following. I think it's safe to say there won't be a Halo Infinite sequel. Hashtag Halo, hashtag Xbox. Now this drove everybody into a frenzy. I cannot stress this enough. He was just speculating and he didn't know anything definitively. He was just having a discussion on the track record of Halo developers not finishing stories, and now they've moved to the Unreal Engine, there's a chance we won't get a sequel to Halo Infinite story. Basically everything I just said in the last 3 minutes. I literally quoted his tweet and I said, please don't let this be true. You've set up Atriox, you've set up the Banished, Master Chief on Zeta Halo, and the amount of amazing lore on that ring should not go to waste. Finish the story and don't do it in a book. Halo Infinite deserves a sequel, and it really does. Halo campaigns have been starved for content for a long time. There's also that growing trend I just mentioned of Halo's timeline becoming so convoluted that the books are actually required to tell the stories now. And again, I'm just going to reiterate, a majority of Halo fans do not read the books. This is where things get good. Because Mr. Reb's post garnered so much attention, and we're talking almost 100,000 people in just in a couple of hours, community manager Unishek was asked to comment. Uni said, and I quote, "Hey Spartan, when we have information to share, we'll share it. Until then, please rest assured there's no point in getting spun up on random posts/rumors. Thank you." Now I'm a simple man, but if there was any validity the Halo Infinite story was not getting a sequel, John, Unishek, would not be saying this. Once things are ready to be shared, said, they will be. Once the game is in a state for fans to see, we will see it. But wait, there's more. I also have to say very quickly, as much as Unisec would probably love to confirm that game's coming out, he obviously cannot. Anyway, we already knew that a lot of the assets being worked on in the Unreal Engine Foundry project will be going into future Halo titles. Here's an example, and what you're watching on screen is actually a Halo Combat Evolved anniversary terminal from 2011. This terminal features 343 Guilty Spark talking about the effect the flood has on the environment it's infecting. Compare that terminal image to the preview image we got of the flood Blightlands biome currently being worked on in the Foundry project. It's almost a bloody 1-to-1. Also, you have the Halo Combat Evolved Mark V armor, the Combat Evolved pistol, etc. What people haven't discussed is Zeta Halo, especially Halo Infinite, has a very close biome to also what was shown off. The grassy knolls, the foresty areas, the lush foliage could be used again for Halo Infinite's sequel. The number one request Halo fans have had after Halo Infinite was more biomes. The reveal had snow too. It's also important to note the elites shown in the Foundry project are elites from Halo Infinite. Yes, they're very close to the Combat Evolved ones too, and they're interchangeable, but if they are working on a Halo Infinite sequel, that might be the first look we've seen at the elites in that game. I'll put a side-by-side on screen right now so you can see for yourself. You could also even argue, as Halo Infinite sequel is going to be on the Unreal Engine, they needed to port those Infinite assets from the Slipspace engine into Unreal, and that is why you are seeing those elites. So there was that. The last few days happened, things start to quieten down, all is back to normal, and then Sean Dubs, the man who accurately stated 2 years before it was officially announced that Halo would be moving to the Unreal Game Engine, says this: Combat Evolved Remake, Halo 7. Needless to say, Halo fans lost their minds, as I know for a fact Sean W, the man, has insider information on the future of the franchise. I won't say any more than that. This gave even more validity to the rumors of a Halo Infinite sequel, and there should be a sequel. I want to see more of the Endless. I want to see what happens to Atriox. I want to see the rest of Zeta Halo and potentially even fight the Flood again as the Master Chief. I want more Halo stories, more campaigns, and to be truthfully honest, I just want more Halo. The way Sean worded that was he put CE Remake first and then Halo 7, which raises the question as to Remy, when do you think we're going to see them? For anyone who did miss my Future of the Halo franchise video, here is my guesstimation on what is going to happen for the future. This June, we'll be getting a reveal for the Combat Evolved Remake. I'd wager the release date for this project will be November 2026, Halo's 25th anniversary. It fits, it makes sense, and if I was in charge of marketing, this is what I would do. There is a chance for Certain Affinity's standalone multiplayer or the PlayStation release of MCC this Christmas, but these are pure rumors. I would put far less stock and don't get your hopes up on those two things. However, with the Combat Evolved Remake, I would almost wager my channel the release date of that will be 2026 November. That means in typical marketing fashion, you'll get a trailer for the project this June, you'll get a gameplay reveal next June, then the marketing cycle will really ramp up heading into November for the full release. For Halo Infinite sequel, it could be then 1 to 2 years after that. You'll get a similar reveal the next June, a gameplay reveal after that, with a release the following November. That's exactly what Halo Infinite did too, but then Joe Staten got the game delayed, so just keep that in mind. The good news about all of this, about all of the projects I've spoken about, of everything that is in the works, the extreme Halo drought that we have gone through over the last 10 years seems to be finally ending. There's good stuff on the horizon, but there's still the major question marks, and rightfully so, on how these projects are going to be received. People have legitimate concerns that it's not going to be a very good game, and I can't blame people for thinking that. They've been burnt time and time again. So all I'm going to say to Microsoft, Halo Studios, take the time, make it perfect, do not release it until it is truly ready. For me, I'm curious to see the direction Halo Infinite sequel takes. Will it have multiplayer? Will it just be a campaign? Will Certain Affinity's standalone multiplayer project become the definitive multiplayer for Halo? Atriox, for me, very well may be my favorite Halo villain, so I hope the time is taken to write a satisfying story arc for all characters and then execute said story and not have it cut down to almost nothing due to time constraints. I think for me, that's the biggest thing of all. I want a finished full game at launch. I don't care how long it takes, it needs to be perfect out of the box. I say out of the box, but even if you buy a physical copy nowadays, it's just a license on a disc. Physical media is dying, which really sucks. It's just a figure of speech. I will say, however, for Halo Infinite sequel, it needs to have split screen co-op and network co-op at launch. I'd also love it to have theater mode just like Halo 3 and Reach did for the campaign. That would be awesome. I also really hope fun things the community discover don't get immediately patched out. Halo Infinite's campaign had so many things removed in the 6 to 12 months after release. I don't want to see that again because people really love that stuff. In saying that, I'm sure you guys have your own list, but for me, co-op at launch is the big one. And with that, that is everything we know about Halo Infinite sequel. We know there's 2 lead developers on 2 different projects. We know there's multiple things on the way. So this raises the question, it's what I'm going to ask you guys today. What do you want it to have? What important features does Halo Infinite sequel need to have in your eyes to be successful? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm curious as to what you guys have to say, but thank you for watching. If any new news comes out about Halo Infinite sequel, I'll let you guys know. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.